Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week. Rachel, when was the last time you threw some food away?
I threw the top and bottom of a leek away at lunch today.
Ah, but that's like kind of like, you chopping the bits off that you're not going to eat.
Yeah, but I did throw it away. I mean, when we had chickens, I would have fed that to the chickens.
Okay, yeah, but when you say you threw it away, I mean, you put it in the bin, which is going to go on the compost heap.
Yes, I put it in the recycling, the organic recycling, yes.
So I wouldn't really say you threw it away. I wouldn't really say that you wasted the food.
No.
But we are talking today about the scandal of food waste and how we can stop it. So this is a very interesting article from The Guardian. It's quite a long article.
It is. Quite a technical article.
Yeah. That talks about food waste in various sort of guises, one of which was food packaging, which sometimes makes it difficult to buy the quantity of something that you actually want.
Yeah, they talk about single bananas. We always want to buy two. We have found one of the ways not to be left with a bowl of fruit like on the picture that's full of mould.
It's to buy one of each.
Yeah, to buy one banana, one plum, and then we have half each, don't we?
Yeah, it's difficult to buy one grape though, I think.
Yeah, no. But I do find if you buy punnets that half of them are mouldy in the bottom anyway. I would much rather... There's too much packaging that you can't get to the fruit and see the quality of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we buy one or two bananas, don't we, sometimes?
So we have one banana each.
Yeah.
We tend to share a pear.
Yeah.
And share an apple and maybe share a grapefruit and an orange.
Yeah.
Plums are only small, so we tend to buy two of those.
But the reason we only buy one is because we're trying to eat as many fruits as possible in the week. So you don't want 6 apples because that's still only one fruit. And we want to eat 6 different fruits.
Yeah.
So, but trying to buy one is sometimes a challenge.
Yeah, I think it depends on the kind of shop you go to. A lot of supermarkets tended in the past to only sell, say, fruit and vegetables pre-packaged.
Yeah.
So like 4 apples.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays I think it's quite easy to go in and just pick up 1 apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But previously it was quite difficult.
Yeah, but we don't waste, I would say. I mean, we put, like the onion skins and stuff in the organic recycling, the bits you're not going to eat. But in terms of waste, I'd say there's 0 in our house.
Well, Brinkley, our dog, tends to eat anything that we don't eat.
Yeah, but not in a case of we're not going to eat it. It's like if there's any leftovers, we don't buy processed dog food for him, do we?
No, he eats the same food as we do.
Yeah.
Yeah? Except for today. He didn't have any of the pizza that we had today.
Yeah, but he's had grilled courgette with pink Himalayan salt. He's had grilled aubergine. He's had curried refried beans.
That's true.
He's living the good life.
Yeah. So he's basically eating what we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Leftovers from yesterday.
Pancake,
yeah.
Yeah. He eats very well.
Yeah. I think we eat very well as well. Very sort of healthily.
We try to.
And we also, I think, nowadays, and for quite a few years, we try not to waste food.
Yeah, I think it's a crime. But the big problem, I think, is, as you said, the packaging. Yeah. Because sometimes you don't get a choice in how they package stuff. I mean, for example, we will buy a box of mushrooms and we have to process them and cook them like within the 24 or 48 hours of buying them, because otherwise then they do go off very quickly. Yeah. They're in a cardboard box. Yeah. And I don't understand why they can't be in a paper bag. They then shrink wrap them in plastic.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not like a flimsy cardboard box. It's quite a sturdy cardboard box. Yeah.
And I usually have to crack the plastic because the plastic causes condensation. So the mushrooms actually do better with just a muslin cloth over the top of the cardboard box.
Yeah.
In a cool, dark environment, don't they?
Yeah, but you're right. A paper bag would be better for mushrooms.
Yeah, but we bought peppers. They were in a plastic bag. We bought a cucumber that was shrink wrapped in plastic. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah. This article also talks about the Maasai tribe in Tanzania. I think it is in Africa. And I can't remember. I'm looking for the quote where it says about them. Okay, let's scroll down. We're scrolling.
There it is. The Maasai. Here we go.
The Maasai have a lot to teach us about the
immorality.
The immorality of food waste.
Immoral, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this article sort of talks about how when the Maasai warriors heard that people in the modern world waste food, they couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe, because, these are people whose entire lives are spent searching for food.
Yeah.
But we have so much food that we waste it.
Yeah.
And, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about the amount of food grown, talking about the future, saying that we're not going to have be able to grow enough food for the growing population. But they were saying, like, years ago, they used to grow enough for 2,200 calories per person per day.
Yeah.
But now we are growing 3,000 calories per person per day, and people don't need 3,000 calories. So they're producing more food than is needed.
And most of those extra calories tend to go to waste.
Yeah.
We might buy them from the supermarkets, but we can't necessarily consume all of that food. So at the end of the week, you have this stuff in the back of your freezer which starts to go off, and then you have to get rid of it and throw it away.
Yeah.
And I suppose from the supermarket's point of view, that's good for them because you're buying more and more products, more and more produce. I suppose they don't really care what you do with it once you've purchased it.
Of course they don't. They're just interested in the balance sheet. But I mean, particularly this time of year, it's middle of October, moving into November, and there is going to be the big increase of food in the shops for Christmas. We always think when we go in the big supermarkets, even the local little supermarkets, the amount of extra food they get in, and
for Christmas,
they're only shut for like 1 day, 2 days.
Yeah,
and everybody goes crazy shopping mad.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Yeah, the supermarkets around here, I think they're closed on Christmas Day. Maybe Boxing Day as well, I can't remember. So for 2 days, so for 48 hours, the supermarket is closed. But you don't need to buy that much extra food just because the supermarket is closed. No. I mean, it's not as if... I think some people possibly do go to the supermarket or the shop every day.
Yeah. If you've got a local supermarket, you might as well go there rather than keep loads of food at home.
Yeah. If that's how you enjoy buying your food and storing your food, the supermarket is your fridge, your larder. Yeah, but I know we might go to the supermarket once every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So the supermarket being closed for 2 days is no great concern.
No.
For us, is it?
No, but I don't know. I just think people buy way too much. The supermarkets stock way too much food at Christmas.
Yeah.
And there's always waste.
Yeah, there is always waste.
So is there but the question is there business in the waste?
In food waste? Well, I don't know. I think there probably could be, but it depends where the food is wasted. So we're looking at a picture of onions.
Yeah, discarded onions in a field in Ontario, Canada. You can dry and keep onions for ages. Why are they discarded in the field?
Well, obviously the farmer either can't sell them or then they're not sellable to some degree.
They look fine in the picture.
Yeah. But obviously, for whatever reason, the farmer has decided to dump these onions in the field and he's going to plough them into the field.
That's horrendous.
It is, considering all the effort that's gone into growing and creating those onions.
All the energy, all the water.
Yeah. So, maybe somebody else could do something with those onions. So maybe there is some business there. But I think food waste on the farm is not a good business. Whereas if you can collect food from a supermarket, maybe the supermarket was going to throw the food out. If you can collect that food, I mean, I think in the UK a lot of people do collect food, or food is given from supermarkets to food banks.
Well, I've told you this before. I mean, this was years ago when I worked at Boots, years and years and years, well, 30 years ago, and when they used to do these sandwiches, these meal deals, and at the end of the day, any sandwiches that weren't sold, there was somebody from a local charity who used to come in right like 5 minutes before Boots shut, and if there are any sandwiches that were, you know, either expired or going to be expired the next day, whatever, they were allowed to take them for free, off the shelf, and then they went and they gave them away to people who needed food. Yeah,
to homeless people, people who really, really need it.
And Boots did that every single day, and that was just the store I worked in. Now, if they were doing that in every single store, I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have been over-ordering sandwiches in the first place.
Yeah. Because if you think about the bread or the ingredients for the sandwiches, it's being produced unnecessarily. I mean, okay, it's feeding somebody who needs feeding, but, you know.
It's a good solution to a problem. But, I mean, they talk about recycling, don't they? We're talking about packaging. There was that nice quote that you found about recycling.
Recycling should not be seen as the solution, but as damage limitation.
Yeah. Because apparently, even though there's a difference between recyclable and recycled. It says here recyclable doesn't always mean recycled, and too much of that could be too much of what could be recycled isn't, and recycling is an energy intensive process with environmental impacts of its own.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk I can talk about recycling until the cows come home. Yeah. Particularly plastic waste.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, in the European Union as a whole, of all the plastic that you put in your bin to be recycled, how much do you think actually gets recycled?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What do you think?
You're going to disappoint me, aren't you?
Take a guess.
50%.
It's about 56%.
Okay.
About 56% of your plastic actually gets recycled.
Yeah.
The rest of it probably ends up in landfill or being burnt or sent abroad for processing. But the reason is because the European Union does not have enough processing plants for the plastic that we produce.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's a bit like electric cars, isn't it? They want everybody to have electric cars, but where are they getting their electric from to power the cars?
Yeah. Where are the charging points?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that the European Union or societies can do is invest in more infrastructure for recycling so that we can actually recycle more.
But who's going to pay for that?
Well, who knows?
Yeah, it's going to have to be somebody very benevolent, because there's no business in that, is there?
I don't know. Maybe I think there is money to be made in recycling. It's an expensive process, perhaps. Maybe someone should have a word with Elon. He's got a few $100 million spare, hasn't he? You know, I'm sure he can, and he's one of the world's greatest minds, perhaps.
I don't know.
I'm sure he could come up with a solution.
Slightly mad.
Yeah.
What about if I asked you? You know, if we go back to food waste. I mean, I'm thinking now about when I worked for the insurance company and we had a canteen there, and you know, you used to be able to get breakfast, lunch, dinner there. I mean, there was a lot of food waste there as well.
I bet there was, yeah.
Yeah. And everybody was getting fatter as well, because you could eat as much as you like. But what tips would you give businesses? What tips would you give individuals with regards to avoid food waste? We've already said one, which is just buy one piece of, instead of a box of 6 apples, just buy one apple. Or, you know, one of 6 different fruits. Make it interesting.
Yeah. I would say to people, and this is something that you and I do, is plan what you're going to eat. Know what you're going to eat. So tomorrow you're going to have, you know, this for your breakfast, this for your lunch, this for your dinner.
Yeah, we do that. Okay.
So you know what you're going to have. So you know, if you plan 7-10 days in advance, when you go to the supermarket, you know what you've got to buy. You know the quantities. and you can avoid waste.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
And we plan that, don't we, every week, and then about every fourth week we see what leftovers we've put in the freezer or whatever, and we have a week we call bin diving, which is when we're going into the big freezer to there's some chili here, there's some curry here.
We're defrosting all the stuff that we haven't eaten, and that's dinner.
Yeah, because it's like you're not going to the supermarket again until you've ate up all the leftovers.
Yeah, until I can see the bottom of the freezer.
Yeah.
Let's finish on a good note. Let's talk about, for a second, Denmark.
Yes.
Denmark reduced food waste by 25% in 5 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that was basically just by the result of one person on social media sort of pointing out that this was, food waste is a bad thing, and that becoming a viral thing within Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the key thing was they wanted to stop bulk discounts like bog-offs, buy one, get one free, buy two, get one free.
Yeah.
So the people don't want the free one because they're never going to eat it and they're going to throw it away.
Yeah. Probably,
so they had things like signs saying, "Take me, I'm single," for individual bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the buy one, get one free, or the buy two, get one free thing. I would rather just have the one that I want at a lower price.
Depends what... For food, it doesn't make no sense. If it was like hair conditioner.
Yeah, okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for food, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
No.
No.
But anyway, so it can be done. If food waste can be reduced, if you look at Denmark, by 25%.
Yeah.
Over a period of 5 years, we can do it. We just have to change the way that we buy and consume.
Yeah. I mean, if you read the article, it is a very long article, but there are different points that it talks about. So you might want to look at the packaging, you might want to look at the supply chain part, you might want to look at the consumer part. There's even some political bits that you might want to look at. So it goes through a lot, including talking about meal planning is also mentioned there as well.
Okay.
So,
and it also talks about the morality.
Yeah.
The morality of food waste. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is perhaps, morality is something that isn't discussed quite as much as it should be in business.
Should we food shame people for? Oh, is it waste shame?
Food shame, waste shame, yeah.
Yeah, waste shame.
No, because someone will try and do that to us, so let's not bother.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast, and please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.